All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So let's get started. Okay, first things first. Best Girl has requested an audience with us.
Rogue trader.
Ah, you said you have a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue trader.
The accursed servants of chaos who assaulted the ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including progeny of brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in the Von Valencius territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans. I will meet with them, no formalities needed. These are the children of the people who gave their lives to the Von Valencius dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve. I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart. Oh, you know what I need? I need water. Because the last time I dried my throat out. I'll be right back. I need water, he says, and then goes and grabs a bottle of Diet Coke. Yeah, that's a great idea, numbnuts. The motley group of adolescents did not take their eyes off you, gazing at you if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Schola Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. You reach your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House von Valencius. Grandly addressed the group. I, the rogue trader and lord captain of this ship, speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cause and brought honor to the Von Valencius banners and those of the Imperium. I am proud of them and believe that you will become their worthy heirs. The teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, "So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in the dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches." Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants to both calm and scold him for his impudence. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. The boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks, or worse. When the heretics who killed your parents attacked the ship, I was there. I took command. I fought and I repelled the assault as quickly as I could. But no war can be won without losses. You can only strive to do what is within your power. You heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valencius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears the Seneschal came equipped for such a contingency. That's my Abelard. That's right, boys, make it rain! Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. Come on, you can do it! Sister, let us continue our conversation.
Greetings.
Even in stillness, Sister Argenta radiates energy. With her dark eyes shining and a slight blush to her cheeks, she is reciting a prayer and looks at you. Only once she has spoken the final line. Seth, greetings. Tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
Tell me about the Adeptus Sororitas.
Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. I beg your pardon, rogue trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
What order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate.
God, I love this character's voice actress.
And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
The Order Pronatus is not one of the Order's militants, and yet you are a trained fighter.
Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity. Their dialogue with heretics is usually quite short, with the last word being a bolter discharge. And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it?
I didn't charge my my headphones, so excuse me. There we go. Also, once again, the voice actress for Sister Argenta. Top notch. Requires simping harder. Let's see. You said you belonged to the Calixian branch of your order. What brought you to the Coronis Expanse?
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Pastor Mr. Wayne. the station's founder.
Okay. Are there any other members of the Adeptus Sororitas in the Coronis Expanse?
None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy.
They say the Adeptus Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is this true? I don't know. Like, I think the Talons would argue with that. The Talon Desert Raiders, they tend to be a little bit fanatical.
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter.
Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, there have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness, but do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me. Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her, for nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of faults and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul.
I would like to remind everybody that an eviscerator is a chainsword that is usually wielded by an Adeptus Astartes. It's usually about as tall as the sister who wields it. So yeah, they're nuts. I have no more questions.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
Would you happen to have some spare time this evening to talk about theology, sister? In my private quarters.
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I'd barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
Where did this happen?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
What happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
We could go to the planet and deal with the Chaos Worshippers.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared.
Let the simping begin. Time to expend unnecessary resources. What was it like traveling on Theodora's ship? Okay, by the way, I'll stop
I
joking
hadn't
about
been
that.
here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistic systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the pirates. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
You mentioned you made a mistake.
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
I don't have any more questions, thank you.
As you wish.
I'm not going to ask her what's keeping her in my retinue. Thank you for this conversation. Until next time. Alright. As much as I'd like to talk to other people on the bridge, that took about 20 minutes to get through. So let's go do a mission first. Next. Okay, let's get to Urak 5. Yeah, that's the station. Around the corner. Lord Captain reporting. Lord Captain reporting. The heralds of the novice nobility continue to maintain Vox silence. Perhaps due to Urak 5 being off-limits to visitors, we intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn the ship around immediately. We also detected accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably it is the remnants of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed novice nobility house requires aid and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Order the auger crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static and the Vigdis's measured voice. The officers from the auger crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigators' heralds ignoring us? Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply even after an official greeting by a rogue trader and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Well, order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so you will have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path. He did.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Immortal Emperor deserve it. Not a step further. Master, we have some strange guests on the station. Greeting! A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face. And it's not just his own blood. Two jet black, unblinking eyes are watching your every move. And the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Desist, brother. It was the Emperor's will that brought me to this abode. The navigator frowns. No one has the right to interpret his will so freely, brother. But wait, I recognize your coat of arms. You must be a lord of the von Valentius dynasty. Yes, I'm absolutely positive, in fact. And since fate has brought such an important person into my abode, allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felic Christoph August, keeper of this station. So you did not come to offer support to the traitors. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Urac 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orsilio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say that you are not on the guest list. What's happening on the station? Where did all these corpses come from? Betrayal. A most banal thing in the life of the nobility, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Orsilio, the second keeper of Urac 5 and my mentor. On his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivably, they dared to take her prisoner. Greedy scum. I swear by the throne's light their souls will perish in the darkness of the void. Bellic falls silent for a few moments and furiously slams the end of his staff into the floor. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia and are now torturing her upstairs while we are idly chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone, but waste no more of my precious time. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet, Bellic takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got... Okay, that's ridiculous. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness, but you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chambers, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orsilio herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny, but even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. Alright, how do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help rebuild the rod. The tech priests ceaselessly perform the rites of appeasement so the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. And how am I to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence, and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. Alright, I guess that makes sense. So you have decided to send into the Von Valencius line. The woes of your house upset the balance of power in this galaxy. I will help you, if not for the sake of profit, but for the good of the Imperium. Felek nods curtly. You should hurry, then. We will stay here to hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, rogue trader, and may the Emperor's light be with you.
Over.
Goods! Yes, collect all.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
Who are you? Why are you crying? I don't know.
I'll lay claim to the
Attention to
stars.
detail is the key to success.
Never doubt me.
I never will.
None shall stand in my way.
Ha ha! You tried to flank me! Fire at will for House Auxilio!
I won't heed your cries of mercy.
You dare cross the faithful!
Sister Argenta. Move you right there. Seth? Oh, god damn it. You're not close enough. Argenta goes first. Seth, I'm gonna pull you back here. Abelard, you are close enough, which is good, so I'm gonna stick you right there. Idiri, once again, you aren't all that close, so you're just gonna get snuck in there. Sister Argenta. Rock and roll.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Escape the Emperor's judgment.
Nicely done, Sister Argenta.
As the
Shift
Emperor
one.
commands, I act. Each strike is a prayer.
He is the goat. Reload.
That is not the Emperor's
Oops,
will.
I'm out of it. I'm out of resources. Oh, damn it.
I've suffered worse.
Set.
Not my specialty. I'll pass.
Abelard.
That's not the Seneschal's job.
Okay, good point.
A tactically sound approach. I'd rather not. At your beck and call.
Okay, he parried.
Victory is imminent.
You shot your own man, you moron. Alright. Idira.
What is this foreboding? Was that you? Or... But of course.
One fewer target.
Nicely done.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Alright, so he's got exposed weakness. Okay. So I want you to come up here, and I want you to try to shoot him.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
Nicely done. Seth, I want you to go here.
My tactics are flawless.
That sucks. That'll do it.
Suits my purpose. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. It will be done.
There is movement in the Empyrean. On it.
I'll do it.
Nice hit, nice hit.
Doubt is for the weak.
Go again, Argenta.
This is unacceptable. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Just a minor setback.
Alright. Death, what am I gonna get you to do? Can I get you to...
I shall not fear. Nothing I can't do. You don't stand a chance.
Nice.
Follow my lead.
Will do. Was that you? Or...
I will not. The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Alright, I tried. It's okay there, Argenta? Okay! If you're gonna be that stupid. Death. Charge. Nicely done, Seth! You're getting back into good form there, my good man. Oh, goods. Okay.
I rise to the occasion. A new challenge for me?
The premonition runs true.
Follow my lead.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. I got a las pistol. And I got a las gun. Abelard, you need a bit of a ranged weapon. I wish I could give you a shotgun, but this is the best we got for now. Idiria, your ballistic skill is complete and utter trash, but meh. Let's see, what do you got? You have the armored body glove. okay, okay. So, flak chest plate. You have mesh. What do I have here? I have a flak chest plate. Okay. It's not bad. I find it interesting that the las gun has lower damage than the las pistol. That being said, I'm gonna give her the las gun because I want her to have the single shot ability. Oh, no, wait. I actually do want her to have a las pistol because she needs an up-close and personal weapon. Duh. Which means I also need one for him. Yeah, okay.
Over there.
I better myself through my service.
Yeah, we'll just go with this for now.
Idira, stop castigating yourself. Your soothsayings have always been vague. Even if you had her, who among us would have realized that it was Lady Theodora who was in peril?
I'll lay claim to the stars.
There's a way to adjust what angle you went in on, but whatever.
None
Hey,
shall stand
what's
in
that?
my way.
Yeah, I'm actually sort of cheating because I'm going on memory here. Tech use!
Oh, the irony.
Alright, use
That
the key.
wasn't so difficult.
Duty prevails.
Fools! Did you hear the screams? Move! Are you alright? We can't hear anything! No. Now I see you are leaving them. This is an insurrection. Death to the traitors! Traitors, all of you! They told me. They whispered, hey, who are you? Well, I am your doom. Like I said, your doom.
I'm always
always ready.
Where is the goods? Collect all. Collect all. The goods. I'm gonna have to read all of these if I want to complete the puzzle, this part of the level.
It's about time.
Awaken the Cogitator Spirit. Awaken. The Cogitator's vid screen was covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The buttons, switches, and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty and scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. You turn a view of the remaining dials and pull the activation lever. The cracked vid screen of the sacred engine flickers. The Cogitator inside emits creaks and groans, and the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirits do grant you access to the Cogitator system. Request data on the station's navigators. Examine the logs. The archived data stored in the Cogitator's local data crypt is partially corrupted, but you can still manage to access the residual logs for examination. View Vox report. This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are unpowered. The Tech Priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Requesting back. The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting, and the recording abruptly ends. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. Preliminary cause of this officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Senior station officers, this is the captain speaking. We've attempted to contact the Winter Scale Scion for help, but something is jamming a signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. The rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anybody could be a traitor. You hear me? Anyone. If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. The following Vox recordings are too badly distorted to even make out a single word. Well, let's view the encrypted data. Required access level, security captain or above. Current access level, senior security officer. 60%. Ooh. Break through the machine guardian's defenses. Oh yeah, you easily bypass the restrictions imposed on the sacred machine. The Cogitator's overloaded processes were unhappily. Most of the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the Purge protocol. Recovery is impossible, but the list of the most recent commands have been embedded in the machine spirit's consciousness. Now flits across the screen in a single creeping line. Child, delete, pick, flow, disassemble, access code, annul, station, control, delete, activate, shuffle, shuttle, self-destruct, purge, command, log. Exploring the archives for a while longer yields a surviving excerpt from the guard captain's report mentioning that the security system had recently been reconfigured without his knowledge. His comment reads, only the keepers of the station have access to the life support system, but Keeper Theobald has not left the child's side. Neither had I. Could it be that? Yes. The yellow light above the control panel flickers to life, and a singular repeating message streams down from the vidscreen. Warning, damage in technical compartments A12, D3, D8, and H24 detected. Warning, living quarters L10, L16, L28, depressurized. Warning, unable to access the station's docking system. Warning, energy regulation system, unknown error. The station will transfer to emergency power. Emergency evacuation of the city is advised. Warning. Recent incident log. Report X880, originator, classified, date, classified. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came in from above that their remains reprocessed. The negotiations with the Winter Scales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. Report X891, originator, classified, date, classified, data expunged. Or redacted, if you're an SCP fan. Oh no, data expunged is SCP, never mind. Examine the station's docking log. The log is almost completely corrupted, but you managed to recover the last entry. Identity confirmed. Regent Aranto Orsilio. Date of visit classified. Reason for visit classified. Date of departure classified. Return to the list of available commands. Call Rykad Minors for help. The system cannot carry out your command. Switch to the main chamber controls. The cogs within the sacred mechanism slowly start turning with a heavy grinding and clacking. The tired machine spirits grant you access to the station control, or at least its parts that still obey the cogitator. Open all doors on the level. Yep. Yes, the vid screen lights up with a smattering of unfamiliar green symbols, and you hear a peculiar click from somewhere behind you. It appears one of the doors in the chamber has opened. Open all doors on the level. Eh. 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 Main elevator controls. Activate the elevator. Return to the list of commands. Step away from the cogitator. You thank the machine spirits and reset the operating protocol. It has done its duty, and now it may rest.
Follow my lead.
Open the door. For some reason, the archenemy's twisted influence has found its way onto the station. Oh my. Uva. Uva gave us something, I think. Okay. Okay.
A new challenge for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, give it all. Oh, what are you? Carapace chestplate. Okay, okay. But it's light, which is good, I guess.
The whispers taught me how.
Okay. Alright, Carapace chestplate. What is this? Argenta uses medium. And you use a body glove. Nicely done.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
An expected result.
Ooh, persuasion. Well, my good sir, I will take those. Abelard, buddy! There we go. Alright. Give me that loot. Lore warp? Oh, yeah. Who's my local... I think it's Idiria who's my local warp expert, although I could be wrong. Yeah, it's Idiria. Alright. Cool. Okay, what the heck is going on here? Because this is... I think warp... What the heck? Okay, collect all... goods... Collect all... Collect all... goods...
The premonition runs true.
Come over here. Please don't kill me. Remake the control rod. Alright. Goods. Collect all. Collect all. And goods. Okay. Alright, 1 second. I just need to open up a notepad so that I can write some stuff down.
Victory awaits.
Damn it. Stop it. Screw off. No, wait, come back. Come back. Alright, so. Where are you? Okay. Hang on a second, I just have to write that down. Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright, I got it. Okay. So, first thing I need to do... transducer, I have to throw the... I have to throw the... Yeah, I think it's crystal dust in there.
We need to investigate.
Perfect. And then I also need to throw in... Oh. Cool. I need to throw in... adamantine. Perfect. Alright, so... the first recipe...
It's about time!
...that I need is... flesh sample. And then I need... K04OH, yep. And then the catalyst flask, what do I need for this one? I need the unidentified acid, I think? Yes. And then the final one, the reagent flask, I need the adamantium dust. Perfect. And then activate the device. Okay. Well, I tried. Machine go pop. Did I put in the wrong data crypt? I don't know. Oh, I put in the Navigator flesh sample instead of the regular flesh sample. Whoops. Well, I should have double-checked, but that's okay. No going back from that. Jump over.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Okay, quick save.
I won't tolerate weakness.
You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation run. Every second cost my mistress' life. The crossroads, there are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. All wear masks, so poor and flimsy, they fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Tell me more, what paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. I like the tragedy where everyone dies. And I'm left sitting in the ashes of a ruined world with a bottle of 50-year-old well-matured scotch. Who do you see behind the masks? My whispers are giggling nastily. They will not speak, the naughty little things. I say that tearing off the masks is your concern. Thank you. Everything is clear now. Idira nods tiredly and glances at Felek out of the corner of her eye. The station has enough problems without your sorcery, Psyker. I may have some questions regarding what happened at the station. You think they are worth the life of my mistress? The servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on the station. Most of the corpses I discovered were either unarmed or feeble. If you really think that my servants could plan, mere servants could plan a coup, the senior officers are just as guilty. Destroying the shuttle, shutting off the power, and disabling the security system. Too many things required special access. Access only required to, only available to the keeper of the station. As I'm sure you are aware, there are two keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. The Ebaldo Celio, the demented old man, obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for woes to have fallen near Act 5. I saw the security captain's report. All the keepers have access to the station system, but Theobald stayed at his side the entire time and could not have initiated the self-destruct protocol. Which means he did it before the report was filed, or maybe after, or... Felek's stern face twist in disgust. You dare suspect me of what happened? The one who is going out of the way to preserve this, what little there is left. By the God Emperor, will you keep these slanderous accusations to yourself? No. I would not trust you as far as I can throw you, Felek Arcelio. It really is time to end this. I was hoping to find an ally in you, but now you are merely delaying the sorrowful end of your story. Prepare to die.
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
Death to his enemies!
Anchor! Seth, get into position. Abelard, get into position. The nuking shall begin. Argenta, get into position. And Idiria, get into position. You suck.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Suits my purposes. Already done.
No! moved out of position, you bastard! Nice dodge, though, Abelard. Very well. Oh, that's our jet.
Indeed. I took care of this one.
Well done,
It
Abelard.
will be done.
Argenta, 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 Argenta. My dear lady.
Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it.
Please try again.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Okay. I thank you for trying, Argenta.
Doubt is for the weak.
I'll live another day.
Yudiria.
Not this Greyer's job.
Alright, that's fine.
Anything is? But of course. Stop it!
Ouch. Nice dodge. Well done, Abelard.
I will endure.
Let's see how they respond to this. Suits my purposes. Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Nice. I'll save my heroic for the next turn.
Nothing I can't do.
Oh! Double dodge! Abelard, Abelard, Abelard. Oh, you are perfectly in position, Abelard. And I know I shouldn't do this, but at the same
My
time...
place is at the fore.
Nicely done, Abelard. Oh, yes! Abelard has...
We'll rule the stars themselves.
Go, Abelard.
At your beck and call. Reduced to dust. It will be done. One fewer target.
Yeah! Abelard, you are... You are one awesome SOB. Get into position and brace
Tried
for
and tested
impact.
tactics are the best ones.
Because I believe that... Oh. Sister Argenta.
Rejoice in battle! I refuse.
I've suffered worse.
That is not my destiny. I'm not so sure.
Interesting. What's going on?
No can do.
Alright, let's get Adiria behind full cover. Nothing I can do there. Alright, let's just give him forewarning. Oh, I did. Oh, nice dodge. Oh, he lost some of his momentum, huh?
Never wavered in the face of adversity. Suits my purposes.
Oh, crap. I keep forgetting that that's not...
Already done.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call.
Guided by faith! Faith without deeds is worthless. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Thank you, Genta. That was most appreciated. I didn't think I'd get a chance to pull that off. He just shot his own man. Dear God, you are an idiot. Dear God, Emperor, you are an idiot.
All too easy.
Follow my lead. Oh,
Oh, nicely done, Abelard. Can you finish him?
victory is imminent.
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, I've got some upgrades I gotta deal with. Control rod. Oh, yes. Dead shot. Yep. Long last, that's a sniper rifle. Ooh, interesting. So this is a Retobi pattern. Alright, let's see what this is. Info. Oh, this is a... Oh! Oh, must not have features. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So what's the difference between a regular las gun and this guy? So that has a 5%. So you exchange. Oh, so it's. Oh, sorry. You get same max ammo. Higher damage, but less armor penetration. Interesting. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that would be better. Scrappy auto pistol, regular auto pistol. Why is the scrappy auto pistol better than the... Alright, whatever. throw that on. Excuse me. And I want to apologize in advance to everybody out there who's watching me. I don't know if, like, I'm having issues with streaming right now. So I think I'm streaming perfectly fine. The pale figure with unnaturally long limbs stands with her arms raised, her hands deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continuously streams from her scarlet-misted eyes. Her spiny gills, slightly hidden under her disheveled hair, twitch nervously as you approach. Only now do you notice the third eye in the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament, and when your eyes meet, you sense an overwhelming, soul-smothering power. As the otherworldly creature's gaze slides over you, your entire core shudders in terror. Flashes of past warped nightmares re-emerge from the shadows of your memory and paralyze your will. You gasp for air in terror, drowning under a crashing wave of pain. You cannot catch your breath. Hot tears burn on your cheeks. Why is this happening? Why is this happening to you? Why do you feel so lonely and in such pain? Do these feelings even belong to you? Idiria emits something between a moan and a drawn-out whimper. Ow! It's as if my own little pals weren't bad enough. Now this one's barging into my head. Somebody stop her! Heresy! Argenta looks at the tall figure with a strange mix of anger and sadness. Then she lowers her head, and her white hair veils her face. Lady Cassia, I am here to help you. Please calm yourself. Did I succeed? Yes! She wearily shakes her head and lets out a drawn-out sound, similar to both a sob and the howl of a small wounded animal. What? What is happening? Was someone calling my name? Are all the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? I am Seth von Valencius. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. An ease settles over her features, and she nods cautiously. Pardon my manners, Seth. I did not expect to make such a gracious acquaintance in time of great sorrow for our house. What is this? I feel faint. The heavy-set old man, who has been kneeling nearby, erupts into low sobs, his eyes swollen from crying, dart desperately around the room, as though the veil of ignorance has just been ripped away from them. The child, Lady Cassia, where are you? Sacred child, throne preserved. Despite his venerable age, the Navigator leaps up and rushes to the young woman's side. You, the old man shifts, revealing his face to you. It is threaded with jet-black veins, his bulging, milky eyes bear a striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly, sweet scent assaults your nostrils, as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decaying husk. My eyes fail me, for they are unable to make you out as either enemy or ally. I am warning you, one wrong move will bring the wrath of House Orsilio down upon your head. Watch out, Lord Captain. This one so deranged it's making the Whisperers shriek like crazy. He might just open that eye of his. Threatening the head of the dynasty is a grave offense, esteemed whoever you are. Abelard places a hand on his weapon. I am at present trying to determine what is happening on Durac 5. Commerce. I mean you no harm. I came to seek the Navigator's aid. Commerce test succeeded. I grant that you do not look like pirates who have come coveting the riches of a wrecked station, or like scoundrels in Felix service. So, who are you? I am Seth von Valencius, rogue trader. Another rogue trader in our corner of the galaxy. How interesting. Your kind always make an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut a deal that benefits one side alone. Given that you have not so far drawn your weapons, your intentions are probably peaceful, and so House Orsilia now asks a service of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer. Think on it. You can make yourself an ally or an enemy of our house today. You decide. What service do you ask of me? Hope glimmers in the navigator's milky eye. Save the sacred child. Take her away from the station. I fear I do not have long left. A bluish rivulet trickles down the old man's chin, and he wipes the mutated blood brusquely away from with his sleeve. You glimpse strange burns covering his flesh under his clothing. Slightest movement must be causing him unbearable pain. Save the child and deliver her safely to Regent Taranto, acting head of House Orsilio in the Coronis Expanse. Rest assured that the reward will be worth your effort. I know we came here for a navigator, but after everything we've seen, I've got some reservations about this girl. Argenta looks at Cassia. A painful furrows appears on her brow. Such a fragile thing with such a heavy burden upon her shoulders. You are talking as though you expect to die here. Theobald shrugs indifferently. My service to the house is coming to an end. The wounds Fellic inflicted on my flesh will never heal. I am dying. Raise the throne, slowly enough to see that the child is taken care of. You need help. There's a Medicaid deck on my ship. But Theobald only shakes his head. No, I am the keeper of Urac 5, and I will perish along with my station. On that note, I have other matters to attend to. Alright, I believe I've made my decision. Is that so? Please share your thoughts. Cassia shall come with me. Good. That is good. The old man nervously licks his lips, but do allow us to say proper farewells.
Wake up, my mistress, my sacred child. It is all over now. It is over.
What happened? You. I remember you. Have you come to save us?
Child, please, listen to me very carefully. One last time. You will now embark on a voyage with this lord to rejoin the house and its regent in the Coronis Expanse. I will not be able to accompany you on this journey.
No, not you too. Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze. You're coming with me. Your mistress is giving you an order. Do you hear me?
Mistress, I fear this will be your only order that I dare to disobey. I am the keeper of Urac 5, and alas, I have less than a day in me. Allow me to serve you one last time and honor my final duty to House Orsilio. I will remain on the station and destroy the secrets it holds.
So that's... I keep saying Orsilio, it's Orsello. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh, Theobald.
That was short. I regret that we had to meet under such circumstances.
What need have I for your regrets? I just want things to go back to the way they were before.
Well, that I can't help with.
What are you going to do to me?
I was hoping to employ you. Lady Cassia, I, Seth von Valencius, rogue trader of the Imperium of Man, offer you protection and grant you shelter aboard my vessel. Do not fear what is to come, child. You are ready to guide any vessel. I know this because I taught you myself. And it is difficult to imagine... It is difficult to imagine a more worthy company than a rogue trader. But remember, Your safety is of paramount importance. Get to the Great Regent and fulfill your destiny.
I beg your pardon, but what about my servants? Yurak 5 is still full of people loyal to House Orselio.
Yes. All who can be saved will be given succor aboard my ship.
As a Lady Navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please, take me to your vessel. I can no longer bear the pain of this place.
There we go. Any goods? Yes! More goods. Let's do some level up here. Alright, what are we gonna get this time? Alright. Available abilities. Ooh. Taunting Scream. Although, wait, I already have Endure. Yeah. Yeah, let's give some more carouse. Yep. How is my carouse? Abelard, let's, next for you, I'm gonna give you Reckless Strike. I'm gonna give you Athletics, and that's it. Idira, already have this. Yeah, let's, weak body, weak soul, let's up that. Ooh. Okay, oh. Ballistic skill. Oh, yeah. No questions asked. Yes, having the ability to do that is good. Okay, and then... Alright, I'm gonna give her more willpower. Oh, okay, so this looks like, I'm not quite sure what these are. It looks like these are... Ooh, okay. Okay. I honestly think I'm just going to give her pass unscathed for right now. Because this is just a flat increase to her ability to dodge, which will reduce the amount of damage she takes. So I'm going to give her that. And then I will give her Eye of Oblivion. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual, but if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first... Your heart starts beating furiously, your breasts come short and choppy, and your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Vigdis is shivering slightly, and the crew are glancing around in puzzlement, searching for the source of the sudden wave of unease. Without even looking at the Voxmaster, Cassia waves her away. First, I wish to speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you're ready for the ritual, please let me know. Cassia sweeps her pensive gaze over Vigdis, then lowering her lashes slightly, turns to you. So, what do you wish to speak about? Before I begin the ritual, I wish to look once again into the eyes of the man whose fame is so great, it managed to penetrate the impregnable walls of Urak 5 long before we ever met. It truly is you, Seth, the person the whole Expanse and Calyx sector are talking about, and now a rogue trader as well. After a few seconds hesitation, Cassia lets out a small exhale and then raises her pointed chin. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded with so much mournful ash when Theobald's heart stopped, but you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that, I'm immeasurably grateful. I am also deeply grateful that you saved my servants, especially my valet, who served me on the station for more than 5 years, much longer than any who preceded him. He knows how to properly attend to me during journeys through the Immaterium, and what to serve me for breakfast. His presence envelops me in a cloak of amber. But now, Cassia throws back her shoulders, I am ready to give the I'm ready to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paints you have on board, but no red. Tell me more about what this ritual entails. I doubt the uninitiated can understand the mysteries of navigation, but I shall try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind and will with the machine spirit of the ship, so that I become one with the vessel. Cassia lifts a lock of hair from the back of her neck, revealing gilded implant ports. After that, I use the House Orsilio ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all Aaron's thoughts, and then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions, mirages, and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that will lead me from star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light, the guiding thread so fine it can slip from one's grasp at any moment. Cassia unfurls her hand as though dropping something. But you have nothing to worry about. The navigators of House Orsilia will never lose their course. Okay. Why do you refuse red paint? Cassia gestures towards the servant standing beside her. Uv will give his blood before the ritual, as always. Very well, I shall ensure that all necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. Cassia nods in thanks. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rites. I ask that you do not follow me if you can survive the gaze of my warp eye when it is opened. Hey, Gwen! No problems. Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge, and may the Emperor's light help us all. The Voxcaster in the Sanctum Navis picks up the susurration of clothes, pious chanting, and the metallic clicking of implants. Then the serene voice of the Lady Navigator breaks the silence, initiating communion ritual. Come here, Uv. The exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard, the low sob of the servant, the rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas, the faint whisper of the brush. Go! Footsteps hurrying away. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails, an umber shadow spinning over the surface in a fiery dance, a storm rising above foaming waters, Armadas drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit of her? No, of me. Its frozen rays lie, that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. The Voxmaster recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitator levers. The panel beneath her fingers emits sparks and the Voxcaster falls silent. She quickly flips a series of switches and bows guiltily. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I've never heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again. Leave the Lady Navigator undisturbed. Soul-shredding screams drawn out... Soul-shredding screams drown out the Vox transmission. The servants in the Sanctum Navis are howling and shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain, their throats raw from the strain, and then sudden silence. The dull thud of dropping bodies proclaim their fate. It appears the servants were part of the Lady Navigator's rite, as it was for her predecessor. I will arrange for the bodies to be removed from the Sanctum Navis after the ritual, or what's left of them. Rogue traitor, I fear I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be whole in two. My sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward. The way is blocked. You hear a heavy exhale, rustling fabric and metallic clicking. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you need me. Lord Captain, congratulations on Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Spare me a few moments of your time, please. There are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I want to report on the condition of the station, Urac 5. Had you opted to begin your visit to the Rykad system with a different destination, the station could have become critically unstable. Fortunately, the decision to immediately visit the representatives of the Navis Nobility brought us precious time. We can either send our forces to disassemble the station and procure technological components, or to save as many valuables as we can. Gather any components that may be of use to the ship. As you command, Lord Captain. With your permission, I would also like to remind you that we are still looking for an Engineer Prime. Both the vessel and its machine spirit are in desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We are also missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have not yet located Henrix von Kalox, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for sure he was not on Urac 5, so keep this in mind when making any future plans. Why is it always business with you, Vigdis? Couldn't you just sometimes visit and tell me how wonderful everything is? Certainly, Lord Captain. If you are interested, this week passed with a record low rate of minor disturbances in the lower decks. A senior technomat from Shift 8 came up with a new formula for a lubricant used in kitchen servitor implant maintenance. The quartermaster of Store Compartment 11 reported recently that we were spending ceremonial decorations at least 20% slower than expected, which means we have enough tablecloth, carpet, and lamps to last us 15 years of grand receptions instead of 10, even considering that some of the stock was burned during the cultist attack on the vessel. Thank you, Vigdis. This will be all for now. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. I feel like the point just went woo over her head. Alright, let's go after the unidentified void ship. Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck. Okay.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
Please, I see you are fond of reading, yes.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
The events that took place on Urak 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Your only attendant is your valet from Urak 5. Do my servants not measure up to your standards?
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers. Ugh. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes a gossip. Oh god, I'm screwing this up so badly. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes a topic of gossip among the lowly servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising, then, that Cassia prefers the company of one who is used to how she looks. I hope that you have had ample time to calm yourself in your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting. Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
My dear, I am a commissar. Caring for my regiment is part of my job. And while I am no longer with the Astra Militarum, or the Officio Perfectum, I still care for those who serve under me, as I once did.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad. And it's just as natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... my delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
I understand what you are going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Yeah, I know there is no romance for Argenta. I begged for it during the open beta. I really did. It's like, come on, guys. I really would, it's like, I'm not the only one. We're all asking for it, I know, you begged for it too, but they didn't put it in. So I have to choose between the knife here and the Navigator. Literally the only right choice. Yes, you can either be a Xeno lover, or you can romance the mutant. Now you're just going the knife here. Uh-oh. Well, if you're going the knife here, I have to romance the Navigator. All right, Cassia. Get ready to be rizzed up. Oh, yeah, Jade Hidari. Ooh. That could be interesting. Well, we'll play it by ear and see what fortune gives me. Yeah, if the Eldari is too hard. She's a chocolate guy. She gives me Isabella vibes from Dragon Age. Like, I swear the Owlcat was playing Dragon Age, the first two Dragon Age games, when Isabella, and it's like, I know, she does, and that's one of the reasons why I'm just like, I always had a soft spot for Isabella, and I'll be honest, were it not for Meryl in Dragon Age 2, like, I would have been going Isabella hard. I would have been an Isabella fanboy hard, were it not for Meryl, because Meryl's just like weapons grade, diabetes inducing sweetness. Ah, there she is. The tall, middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Adira turns her head towards you and offers you a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. Did you know Theodora von Valencia as well?
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well. Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off that if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
Things are strained between you and Argenta, isn't that right?
The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
About, where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Tell me about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead, in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
You never finished your story.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
Ah, I see. So what did you do before you came aboard the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes.
A respectable trade.
I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Idira looks at you expectantly, and then, as though clarifying, she uses her hands to indicate a head exploding and laughs. So how'd you end up in the rogue trader's service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
Have you ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can, after some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
And once again, I'm just going to say the same thing I did when it came to, you know, voice actors are doing a fantastic job. Voice actors, voice actresses have been doing a fantastic job with their characters. I'm enjoying them all thus far. Well done.
Of course, Lord Captain.
What's it like being a psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me, but it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you.
Ah, I take that as a challenge.
Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
Interesting. That actually made a lot of sense. How do you live with this whispering in your head?
Training, habit, and a little Amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow.
Interesting question. What would happen if your door burst open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me. I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight.
Interesting. Are you afraid of losing control?
Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control. Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around in your own head, that's a recipe for disaster.
Well put. Well put. Oh, what the hell? Can you see my future?
All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. If you'll allow it, I can listen right now.
Sure, why not?
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Idira laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face. Her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half-open door.
Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion.
Interesting! I think I like this. I think Idira is going to be, you know, she just gives hints about the people on your crew. I think this is going to be interesting to see how they do that.
A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. A chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord?
Or maybe not.
The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it?
Okay, so the sword of change is an interesting way of putting it, because Tzeentch is like, he's the Weaver of Fates, but I think he's also the like, one of the things he's all for change. So I wonder if that's a reference to Tzeentch. But it could be interesting. Could be interesting.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in somehow, but for now...
About your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You are a Psyker. Psykers are only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut, if it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
I respect that. Alright, actually I'll just ask for one new story. Got a new story?
You bet I do, Lord Captain. Okay, so we went to Footfall once. Well, I mean, Lord Captain Theodora went to Footfall a lot. But on that occasion, she took me with her for some reason. My day had gotten off to a bad start. My head had been yammering since I woke up, but there was nothing else for it. I had to go. We arrived at the place, and what a place! All the gentlemen and ladies dressed to kill, showing off their encrusted implants, all clustered around little tables. Well, turned out it was a gaming den. And not just any gaming den, but one run by somebody with deep pockets for people with just as much cash to splash. You should have seen it. People gambling away planets in a game of regicide. Anyway, so the Lord Captain wanted me to help her beat some guy. So I tell her, the chips won't land in your favor. You'll get a bad hand. Don't sit down at that table, your ladyship. But did she listen? Of course she didn't. If there's one thing she never lacked, it's stubbornness.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm wavering between, like, you know... I'm wavering between the feeling of protective older brother feelings towards Adiria, and just like, oh, poor girl, you need head pats. You know, it's like, oh god, she's got the energy, she's got that innocent, well, I wouldn't say innocent energy, but she's got that energy that's just like, I need to look out for this woman.
So they sat down and the cards were dealt. I'm hovering around like I'm not involved, but I'm keeping my eye on things. And everything in my head keeps getting louder and louder. Anyway, it's a good thing I realized in time that my mind wasn't going haywire over a losing hand, but something else. I made some excuse to drag the Lord Captain up from the table and took her away from that place. And a few minutes later, the room where we'd been... It turned out some wise guy had the same bright idea to bring a pet psyker along with him. One of those ones who just scuttle around in Footfall's underbelly. And the psyker just freaked out, I guess. After all the commotion, people went to see what happened in the room. And they'd all gone for each other's throats. Literally. With teeth. And I think they completely detached that asteroid from Footfall and pushed it off into open space so it would head off toward the local star.
That's one way of doing it. Alright, Adira, I must take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you...
Sorry. Okay. Alright. let's pop over to the unidentified void ship. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Vigdis pauses, as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seemed to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wasarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh my. I think I remember this. The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice, the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a high-born brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you've already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a higher-ranking officer will be logged in your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrila Vent, requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in view of the bridge is unacceptable. I am sorry, Lord Captain. I thought drastic times called for drastic measures, Vent exclaims hotly. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I'm convinced that this step is unwarranted, and the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Warsarian and to intervene on what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she is finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. All right. Where does Seneschal Warsarian come into all this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so, of course, when I received information about the cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Lady Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. You are far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Warsarian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven people to the brinks, Vent says bitterly. Now there's a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. What's Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors in the lower decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are easily replaceable resource, and one which is now, more besides, giving succor to cultists and minions of the archenemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at the worst that means drunken fights and illegal rutgut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located in one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-off effect on the neighboring sectors. How did this all start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately and arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. Alright. Abelard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best intentions of your protectorate. The best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to these people. You will see they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way, you will stop the uprising before it begins. I am certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions myself. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. Abelard grits his teeth slightly, an enterprise bordering on the sophomoric. But please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist I escort you. Of course! I wouldn't have it any other way. Yes.
Follow my lead!
For the Emperor! Yes. Yes. Definitely for the Emperor. By the way, hi, Cat. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow, and a Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-insurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. You gotta get back to lurking? Okay, well, enjoy. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. People dared to disrespect a senior officer. They would not have had a chance to express such disrespect if we were not here. And if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers, Abelard grimaces, it is a junior officer's worst failings to pass problems up the chain of command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say again, it was a mistake here to come on Lieutenant Vance Whim, Lord Captain. Let us keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. What's this?
None shall stand in my way. I'll lay claim to the stars.
We should deal with this.
A container can be seen beyond the massive bars. Perhaps examining the pipe will allow you to reach it. Okay, I couldn't solve. By the way, I could not solve this in the demo, so I'm actually going to look at this. I'm actually going to look up the answer for this because I could not solve this in the demo. Rogue, Trader, Pipe, Lower Decks.
Victory awaits! I tire of idleness. Let's move.
Your seneschal is always there for you.
How may I serve the dynasty?
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
Color the uncolored.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Okay. Alright, so apparently I have to go to a spot and pass a test. Okay! I got no clue where to go, but we'll go. No, don't go there. Don't go there. That'll trigger the conversation. Okay, so I gotta go to a different place. A different place. Where do I have to go?
It's about time.
Okay, so it's not in here. Where do I have to go? So it's not here.
Follow my lead.
Alright, I'm gonna finish this first, and then I'll try and take care of that. The sound of a heated discussion reverberates through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Harula Vent of the ship's enforces is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already, and has now reached a boiling point. I have my orders. Put an end to this unrest and purge this sector. You can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission: the first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears, Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether it means Lieutenant Vent or the officer living officer or both. Your lordship, noticing you, the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute, their subordinates following suit a moment later. Alright. What is the situation? Your lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including the leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Alright, I wish to speak to the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vent's eyes. Is this where I need to be later? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so I do have to get past the strike. Interesting.
Victory awaits!
A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the Lower Decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That is news to us, your lordship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we were doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say you're looking for cultists. One wrong word, and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for weeks at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes. When the children's deaths are mentioned, she quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no feelings towards us. The grim man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Abelard, do you have anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy, and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. The persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and there were heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. As for this amulet or whatever it is, they took it off the dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising fools looted bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were real fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor. And when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motors. Same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by the tech priest who came a-calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the archenemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my 3rd little one. That is regrettable. But you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down upon himself and his neighbors? All right, strikers, what changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us Billshrats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers and quit turning off the heat. to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on lower decks live without fear of the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us, even harder than before, and all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. I've got 100% to make the, Thoughts, Abelard? The story about scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I've seen it before. Abelard's face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor. Only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like metal-choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. I'm going to take a risk on this one. Just like I did last time. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. The tall worker they call Rivets shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old man, listen! Listen! The Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions! And I don't know a single person in the whole of Deck 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to one. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers and give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman, but I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's just great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop, and I will expect you to insist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultist. Thank you, your lordship. You have not abandoned us, Lord Deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. They love me. They really love me. Of course, your lordship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and we'll leave no stone unturned. Can we leave? No. I have secrets to go through first.
I won't tolerate weakness.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
That wasn't so difficult.
Okay.
None shall stand in my way.
They've even dragged deck chairs in here. That's funny. I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lives and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencius Protectorate? Yeah, your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, Abelard says irascibly. Remember Lord Captain Theodora? Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader might. I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation had spiraled out of your control, Abelard. Abelard's face relaxes slightly. You're right, at least as concerns junior officers making complaints directly to you. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. Abelard speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Von Valencius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in the Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture new worlds, they create order out of anarchy. They create impulse. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left everything behind I had known. Everything my family had known. I came from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concern she had no time for. She would go off her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built up over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all, the rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. I value what Theodora created, and I trust that this situation is an aberration in the ship's otherwise smooth operation. Since the established procedures are working, I see no reason to change them. I think I'm going to go with this. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone and where you and I have new decisions to make. Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now please, let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. No. No! Damn it. I was only allowed to go. I was so close. So close, I tell you. Actually, let's go see if there's anything in the Lord Captain's quarters. Alright, 1 second. I gotta plug in again. And hopefully my charging cable won't go nuts and start connecting and disconnecting. There we go. Could I please take some of those weapons? They look quite nice, please. That's probably the regicide table. Okay. Alright, and what's this? Liturgy... The liturgies of the faithful to... Yep, okay. Goods. Thank you. Oh. The Von Valencius... They gain +5 to all characteristics? Yes, please. Also, let's just see how bitchin' this escape looks. Yes. Yes. Just yes. All the yes. I kind of want to remove the helmet just so we can see the stash of glory. Am I willing to give up 5% armor? No. What does this look like? Oh god, no. I'm sorry, but that mustache, it has to remain. It must remain. Although, Cassia, since you actually benefit from fellowship, I'll give you that. Even though, technically, I'm not going to be sending you in that close into comp. Cassie, are you okay? Do they actually show her elongated finger? Oh god, they do. Oh god, those fingers are long. Also, Cassie, let's while we're here, let's take a quick peek at your weapons. You have your staff of House Arcelio. You know what? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so... Alright. Did we just get 2 of them? Cascading 5. Enemies targeted by the Navigator's powers gain -5 to all their characteristics until the end of... Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. Alright. Well, I'll hold on to the Sanctioned Psyker Staff. And even though she's not that good, I'll give her a shotgun instead. And as for Abelard, I will replace his lad's gun with a shotgun as well, since he's mainly going to be in close quarters. I'll sneak that over to him. Yep. Alright. Oh, yeah. Why does he have -5 right now? Okay, whatever. I'm going to increase his toughness again. Should I increase his weapons? His weapon skill is already at 50. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. I mean, his agility is already at 50, which is good. I'm going to boost his weapon skill a little bit. Oh, here we go. Okay, so he's a bolt weapon expert. Oh, okay, so chain weapon expert. Hmm. Hive World characters can pass willpower resistance tests using their fellowship value if their fellowship is higher. That is true. He can. Summary execution. Okay, that's getting annoying. I'm gonna unplug. I'll try to remember to charge my headphones next time. I mean, part of me kind of wants to give him bolter weapon proficiency. But he's not a, like, For now, I'm going to give him, For now, I'm going to give him camaraderie, because that does give him a massive bonus to willpower resistance. So, yeah. Okay, so she's an officer. Get back in the fight. The officer encourages an ally who immediately recovers from burning, bleeding, toxin, and stun. Yes, just the bit, because one thing I remember from the beta is that dots were just absolutely horrifying. They did horrible things to you. Okay, wait. Um, wait. Until the end of combat, enemies damaged by the Navigator suffer from an additional +5 damage from all attacks of opportunity and cannot dodge them. Ooh, is that just from any source? Yeah, that's. I'm gonna take that one. Because that's just support right there. Okay. So, ballistic skill. She is currently maxed out her ballistic skill. Alright, which means... Yeah, she's maxed out, so I'm just gonna take agility. The devotee gains a 3% chance to ignore any enemy attack. Cleansing faith. if I were to do the Imperial World characters, interesting. Wow. Better to die for the while under 40% wounds. Imperial World characters gain a +10 bonus to all characteristics and +2 to resolve. Okay. I'll keep that one in my pocket. Hmm. You know what? I think I'm gonna give her Melta weapon. Should I? No, for right now, I think she's good. Okay, let's do that. Um. Until the operative next turn, their allies attack also remove exploits and deal plus in. Okay, actually, that's a good idea. Okay, I'll up her logic and then Abelard. Next, Abelard, you need more weapon skill. You've already got 50 toughness. And as for that, what's your fellowship? 35? Oh, yeah, no. Okay, I gotta figure out something different for you. Wait, Abelard is already capable of using Melta weapons? Okay, cool. If that's the case, then, I'm gonna give him parry. He's got a 95% chance to parry, so yeah. Give him some defense. Okay. Oh dear God. Okay, I do have to look at this. How many Tanners are there? Yep, there's a lot of us. Huh. It's not as many as I thought, actually. Hey, goods. I'm sorry, what? Collect all, please? Mark of the Ruler. Xenopelt Cloak. Oh god. Okay, what's this gonna look like? Eh. I'm gonna take the +5 to all stats. Please and thank you. Now let's see what kind of pistols we got going here. Alright. Some of these were looking pretty juicy. The Blast Wave. 8 to 12. Shots from this shotgun knock... Okay, so that's interesting. Oh, what's this? The Wrath of St. Drusus. I mean, I won't get a cleave, but... Alright, what's this? The Negotiator pistol. The Heirloom auto pistol. I mean, even the Wrath of St. Drusus. I mean, it's an improvement of 1. It's got the armor penetration that I want, but I lose that cleave, which means I can make up for that. I'm pretty sure I can. The Negotiator pistol. It's not as good as my Deadshot stub revolver. Let's see what kind of we didn't get any armor. Did we get anything else of interest here? All right, well. Is there anything else we could do here? Shrine of Remembrance? No? That's it? Alright. Alright. I'll put you in here. This can be used with dual wielding. And... the melting effect. I'll throw it in there, but honestly, I guess those bonus weapons really didn't do much. Alright. Now, is there anything else? And I apologize, I'm taking up time here, but is there anything else in here? No, nothing. Oh, wait, what's... Oh, that explains a little bit. Okay. Beyond the stained glass, the distant stars glimmer in the darkness of endless space, filling you with an odd sense of dread. Yes, because there's only a small bit of glass. Well, it's probably it's Omicris, but still, like, I would not sleep well. I tell you that much. Good lord. Okay. Okay. I don't think I've been back here yet. Is there anything interesting back here? Actually, you know what? We are past the 3-hour mark, and there's really not much to do that won't throw us into a whole new section of stuff. So, I'm going to call it in for the night, and I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Join in tomorrow. We will be doing co-op Valheim, hopefully with myself, Finn, and Elamy. But it will be more, it'll be more of the Mistlands, and, yeah. Hopefully you'll tune in for that. Other than that, join me again next week. I won't be streaming next Wednesday. The only reason I did this Wednesday because it was Valentine's Day, and I said I was going to, even though the game I said I was going to stream wasn't available yet. But, tune in next Thursday. We'll do more Warhammer 40K, and, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.